JRTV is back with the NASCAR Winston Cup Series 2003 season, and for the 7th race of 32, we head to the Martinsville Speedway in Ridgeway, Virginia for the running of the Virginia 500, the first short track race of the season, and it's the one that could provide the most tempers by the end of the race, with close quarters racing and very, very slow speeds throughout the corners, leading to possible contact as we race throughout the 100 laps here at the Martinsville Speedway. And at the front of the field, we have prior Martinsville winners ready to lead us to the green flag. Zachary Fitzwater Sr., who won his first ever race in the Winston Cup Series right here in 2001, will start on pole position. And the man who won his second ever race here, Brett Sierra, starts to his outside in second place. Watch for the driver in sixth place as well, Chris Jericho. He didn't have the dominant car here last season, had a pretty good car, ran up at the front, got lucky towards the end of the race, got the track position. He won this race last season. He'll look to do it again. It was his first win last season. Could be his first win this season again. We're going to find out by the end of 100 laps here at the Martinsville Speedway. Some other drivers to watch out for that are starting pretty well that, maybe are some underdogs and some of the dark horses here today. Nolan Lawrence starting in 4th place, had a not so good Las Vegas race after getting turned into the grass by Justin Zeidel early on. And Roberto Crown Jr. in 5th place had a very good car at the end of the last race at Las Vegas, finished inside the top 10. Now Crown here starting inside the top 5 has the track position, and we know how important that track position means at a short track like Martinsville, and we'll see if he can try and hold it and maybe possibly work his way up by those few drivers and get himself his second career victory to match the one he had at Lowe's back in the 2001 season. And two more drivers to watch out for that are starting well are Keegan Thompson and Jordan Stout. Both have had very good qualifying seasons. Both have an average starting position of under 10. However, the race is the complete opposite. Jordan Stout has still yet to score a top 10 finish in the season. Keegan Thompson has one top 10. It came at Las Vegas from pole position with an 8th place result. Thompson starts in 3rd here today. Stout starts in 7th, so they're both on the inside lane. They can try and use that track position they have to try and keep it throughout the rest of the race, and who knows, maybe one of them can set themselves up in position to win the Virginia 500 at the end of 100 laps here at the Martinsville Speedway. Further back in the field, the fight to get into the race was oh so close among those drivers not inside the top 35 in owners' points, and it magnified as Henry Guo, who was set to make the race before inspection, ended up failing post-qualifying inspection. So for the second time this season, Guo went from in the race to out of it because of inspection. Heartbreak there, especially since the Zero showed very fast pace in the practice session, finishing practice in 10th place. Guo had made the race on speed, but unfortunately that speed was disallowed because his car failed post-qualifying inspection. Max Davis as well failed post-qualifying inspection. However, he was already out of the race to begin with. That just kind of made matters worse for the 21 team. And Conrad Evans, who didn't really have a great qualifying result at number 31, also failed inspection. After qualifying, he'll be coming from 42nd today. We'll see what progress that 31 can make throughout the field, as it's a very hard track to pass at, but we know Evans will be aggressive at tracks like this. We'll have to see if he uses the bumper, uses these quarter panels and these fenders that the car has to try and get through the field as quickly as possible. Let's go take a look now at some of the track facts here at the Martinsville Speedway in Ridgeway, Virginia. Not so good of a day. It's a little bit cooler, under 60 degrees, and a little bit windy. However, the skies are clear and sunny, so that's nice for the fans in the stands. But it's a Southern Virginia at the end of March. It's not going to be all that warm out. As mentioned, it's a 100-lap race that's just over 50 miles in length. In the fuel window, they can go anywhere from 60 to 70 laps, so they can definitely make it to the midway point. The question will be, will any yellow flags come out before we get to that point to maybe shake up the strategy? Maybe they come out to a point where you can make it from there, or maybe a caution comes out to where it's too early to make it, but maybe the tires would last a good ways and help out track position that way. So we'll have to see if any strategy unfolds or if it stays clean and green like it did for most of the race last season. The banking here, it may say 12 degrees, but I'm sure any driver you pull will say it's definitely not 12 degrees, but that's what they say it is. 12 degrees of banking in the turns, no banking on the straightaways. Very, very flat racetrack here at the Martinsville Speedway, and we've had some new winners in the last few races here, as Jay Randall got his first ever win here in 2000, and Fitzwater backed it up that next race. So 2 of the last 3 winners here at Martinsville got their first career victory. We'll have to see if that maintains in the most wins here at the Martinsville Speedway over the 22 races that we've had here. 5 wins by Chris Dodd is the most of anyone, so we've had a good pool of winners here at the Martinsville Speedway, and we'll see which driver maybe puts themselves with another victory at Martinsville, or maybe it's their first career victory at Martinsville here today at the Martinsville Speedway. Let's go on tracks that fire the cars up for the 7th race of the 2003 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season.
Drivers, start your engines!
A great command to get things going as 42 cars come to life in Ridgeway, Virginia to do battle in the Virginia 500 at the Martinsville Speedway. Right here, starting in 8th place, Evan Hunter has had a very strong start to this season, currently up near the front in points, and currently starting the best of anyone up there in the point standings. We'll have to see if Evan Hunter can try and get to the inside, keep the track position, gain points on both Riley Spurgeon and Sarah Kirchner, who enter higher than them in points. Hunter, starting in 8th place today, has a good shot to try and gain some points. The pace car is in. 100 laps about to get underway at the Martinsville Speedway. Fitzwater, the 2001 winner of this race, on the pole position. He takes off at the green flag, and we're underway in the short track at Martinsville. Well, Fitzwater left the field sleeping, got away by a car length or 2. Thompson from 3rd moves up to 2nd by his teammate Brett Sierra, who's going to fall in line in 3rd place. Fitzwater leads the first lap, 5 bonus points right there for the driver, the number 2. Roger Crown Jr. moving up to 4th, and Jordan Stout looking for 5th as the outside, obviously not the place to be at Martinsville. Everyone that started up there going to try and find their way down to the bottom as quick as possible. Like Evan Hunter, try to get down Strickland though, shoved to the bottom to fill the hole because he knows how important the track position here is at Martinsville. Every spot can gain, that is a lot less headache for later in the race. You saw Tim Gary back there, aggressive with Sebastian Kukul on that 29, looked to try and get down to the bottom. Gary sent it in deep. Now will let his teammate down, Evan Hunter. It looks like he will, so the MB2 cars worked well there. Gary sends it down Kukulon, got the 36 in line. Gary lets him in line, so the MB2 cars can now start moving back towards the front instead of one going forwards, one going backwards. Hunter's now going to be 9th. Gary might be 10th. Jericho's going to try and fight back, and so is Kukulon in the inside lane. Jericho got a good run right in behind Hunter. I think he should get down in 10th place, so minimizing the loss right there. Battle further up for 6th place. Luke Rainey getting by. Nolan Lawrence, and interesting to see the UPS rebrand logo on the hood of that car, where they changed the logo earlier this week to make it more, I guess, distinguishable and maybe more modern. Want to see how people like it, how it works maybe for some of their advertising. But Luke Rainey repping it here today at the Martinsville Speedway for the first time and running steadily so far inside the top 10. Gary and Kukulon not away from each other quite yet. These two had gone at it early on, where Gary sets it down Kukulon to make sure the 29 couldn't come down the track. Now Kukulon coming back. Rando, the winner here in 2000, up the track. His teammate Richardson to the inside. Took the 97 though down in line. Rando behind Mathis Wells, right now back in 17th place, but down in line, luckily not losing too much more ground. Up at the front, the battle for the lead is tightening up. The battle between Stout and Roger Crown Jr. for 4th is tightening up. Stout is right there. Thompson is gaining on Zachary Fitzwater Sr. for the top position. Thompson did lose some ground there, maybe got just too close into the dirtier. Stout messed up 1 and 2, was right on the 43, went wide, loses about a car length, and then Luke Rainey now pressuring him. Further back in the field, Randall's still struggling. That 97 just not getting through turns 1 and 2 well. He's up top again. Richardson once again is going to let him down in line, but Jay Randall struggling in the early portion of this race, maybe to get his tires heated up, get his tires up to temp, and that's why he's starting to, swing wide through turns 1 and 2. The Roush car is not really having a good day besides Jordan Stout, which is kind of been the opposite this season, where they haven't all been dominant, but there's been races where a few of them run well, here and there, but Stout's never really had the car so far this season to run well. But now as he's running inside the top 5, top 10, his teammates are back around, 18th all the way back, DeLello's even further back. So kind of a struggle for Roush Racing here today at the Martinsville Speedway. At the front, Thompson was closing on Fitzwater. The 2 pulled back away, but the 5 definitely showing that he might have the better car, and if he can try and set it up right, it might be only a matter of time before he gets that pass made. Luke Rainey went wide through 1 and 2. Lawrence had a peek to the inside. Couldn't stay in the gas zone. The 88 maintains 6th place. Lathan Strickland moving up. He's up to 8th. Ericsson back there. Jericho went wide, almost into the wall. Tim Gary's by him for 10th place. Jericho trying to get in line 11th, but he goes wide again. Here comes Kukulan. Here comes DeLello. The 18 not having the best of laps, and he's still on the outside. Kukulan fighting back with the runoff. However, the 16 might fill the hole, and Jericho could lose even more spots. We'll have to see. Could DeLello get back into the gas? Looks like Jericho will get down line, but he's gone from 10th to 12th place in that last lap or two. A few cars behind him, his teammate Mathis Wells trying to come back through the field. Had good practice pace. Not so good in qualifying, but he's trying to pass now Hunter Reed in the 45. Reed having another superb run. In fact, both Petty cars currently stationed inside the top 15. Reed just falls to 15th because Wells flies up to 14th. So, Mathis Wells gaining spots lap after lap. Here comes Randall coming back. He's gotten by Ryan Wilson. Wilson now under fire from Keyshawn Richardson in the 99 car. As Keyshawn looking to the inside, the 15 still on the outside. It looks like he should be able to surrender that spot, maybe get down in line. And here comes a DEI car, this one moving forward. Anthony Hernandez trying to get by Riley Spurley-Tube. The battle for 19th on the racetrack. As one Penske car lead, Mitchell Collins not having the best of start to his race. Currently back outside the top 20 in 22nd place, trying to get by Matthew Burnett for 21st. Further back in the field, Eli Bright's fallen from his outside row starting spot. Justin Seidel has moved up from his starting spot in the number 24 car. In fact, he's near Justin Atkins. Those two had made contact earlier this season at the Riverside International Raceway in California. Zeidel's moved up nicely. Didn't really start that well. Neither did Matt Tuck or Conrad Evans. All started really in the back few positions. They're all up inside the top 30 right now, except for Evans, who's right outside. Drew Martinelli's also moved up nicely from his starting spot. Sarah Kirchner's really fallen to 33. This could be her first bad race of the season. She's currently stuck back outside of the top 30. See Nathan Barrett and some of these other guys that are right around that top 35 in owners' points, so they definitely don't want to be running like they are right now. Sherry Chen's falling a lap down. He's had an issue already, had to come down pit road, and the 59, his first race in a while, only his second race of the season, 7 races in, and he's already a lap down, and he's going to need some carnage to happen to try and gain some spots or some mistakes on pit road. 19 laps in this time by. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. still maintaining the lead from pole position, but third place starter Keegan Thompson that is pressuring him right on his back bumper and waiting for the 2 to maybe slip up, and then Thompson can try and find a way through. Brett Sierra holding station in third place, not gaining, not losing, staying about 7/10 back for the past 10 or so laps. Sierra just there, watching these front 2. If they start battling very hard, watch for Brett Sierra to try and pounce. Maybe he saved his stuff. The field's starting to spread out right here. They can see Hunter Reed still in front of Jay Randall, Richardson in front of Ryan Wilson. As Anthony Hernandez has moved up to 19th. Spurley-Tube, the points leader, is back in 20th. While one of his closest combatants in the points, Evan Hunter, currently runs in the 9th position. So Hunter looking to gain points for the second straight race on Riley Spurley-Tube. Remember at Las Vegas, Spurley-Tube started on pole, fell back to around 21st, 22nd place in the middle of the race. Then gained spots back and had a gritty second half of the race to get up inside the top 15 at the finish. Right now he's getting another gritty performance here at Martinsville, currently down in 20th place. But we'll have to see how pit stops and the rest of the race unfolds. Still lots of time left here at Martinsville. We're only 21 laps in of 100. A lot of time left here at the Martinsville Speedway. Another driver who's starting his first race in a while, Nathan Stapleton, has not made the last few races for Chip Ganassi Racing. He's back behind the wheel here at Martinsville, and in fact finished runner-up in this race last season to Chris Jericho on the 18. So, and that was with an even smaller team, with that number 71 team for Morgan McClure Motorsports. So Nathan Stapleton, no stranger to running well here at the Martinsville Speedway. Currently not running as well as he wants to, back in the 24th position, but I'm sure he'll take whatever he can get because he's finally back behind the wheel of a Winston Cup car in race conditions. Jay Randall all over Hunter Reed. That'd be battle for 15th place. Reed has it. Randall wants it. Mathis Wells in 14th, goes a little bit wide. Number 20. Reed has to stay behind for now. Jericho still home tough in 12th. Kukulan right in front 11th. And Kukulan really needs something like this. That 29 has not been so good this season. In fact, Richard Childers Racing, besides that win with Atkins and Kirchner's very solid start, has not been all that good. And here at Martinsville, they have no cars placed inside the top 10. This is their highest car, Kugelheim in 11th. Then you have to go all the way down to Atkins in 27th, Evans in 29th, and then Kirchner in 33rd to find the other 3 cars. This is a track they're very much struggling at, the Martinsville Speedway, and looks like Kugelheim's really their only hope for a solid finish here today at the Martinsville Speedway. Still stacked up behind Roberto Crown Jr. The front 3 have gotten away. Then about 3.5 seconds back is Roberto Crown Jr. in the 43, still fending off Jordan Stout for now. And Stout is definitely, he has the speed to maintain here at the track. Now he's just hoping that his pit crew does their job and he doesn't have to fall back on pit stops and then fall once again outside the top 10 in the race. Right now he's racing well. The question is, when we get to pit stops, will it maintain like that? Battle back here, Rando up the track a little bit. Ryan Wilson coming back. See, Richardson got by Rando right there. He moves up to 16th. Rando down to 17th. Then 2 DEI cars. DEI's not having a great day either here at the Martinsville Speedway. Wilson, their highest driver, in 18th. Hernandez is down to 19th. Eli Bright is 26th. Their affiliate car, Samet Oskin, down to 39th. So the DEI cars and the DEI affiliate cars not doing so well here today at the Martinsville Speedway, as most of the field kind of strung out. Justin Zaidel having a very solid performance, so is Conrad Evans. Once again, both cars started at the back of the field. Evans started 42nd. Zaidel not too far from him in the 24. They've both moved up inside the top 30, and if they play the pit strategy right, they can move even further forward. We'll just have to see what the crews are thinking, what the pit crews and the crew chief is thinking in terms of trying to get some of that track position. Battle between Baby Ruiz and Nathan Ormond. That's the battle for 32nd and 33rd. It goes the way of Ruiz, moving up to 32nd. Now Ormond has his hands full with his Boston teammate, Nathan Baird in the 22. That's about for 33rd and 34th. Bill Davis Racing, they have equal speed cars, but it's not that great because they are both struggling here today. So is Sarah Kirchner right behind them. She's looking to gain some spots. And Matt Tuck, who had moved up at the start, is now falling back in the 32. Joshua Harrison, who made the race just because of that inspection failure for Henry Guo. Harrison right now moving up, and Colin Lewis right there. So is Jack Carter. Oskin under fire from Chen, who once again is a lap down. Battle is on for second place. Thompson had gained on Fitzwater. The 5 must have messed up somewhere. Sierra gained back. However, Thompson maintained second spot. And why is it so important to maintain second at the moment? Well, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., the race leader, is catching up to lap traffic. Once we get to that, if Fitzwater gets held up, Thompson could be the one to take advantage because he's in second place. And whoever's in second really is the one that takes advantage of the leader getting held up in lap traffic. So, Fitzwater has led all the laps so far from pole position, but don't go away because there's still a lot to play for here at the Martinsville Speedway because the leaders are about to catch up to thick lap traffic like Tyler Belladonna, Samet Oskin, Jerry Chen, Jack Carter, Colin Lewis. All these drivers too desperately going to try and fight to stay on the lead lap because they want to get as many points as they can because most of them are battling for the top 35 and owners points. I think Kirchner just moved up in front of Nathan Ormond up there, so another spot for her. She tries to gain whatever she can back to minimize any points lost to the drivers around her in the championship. Fitzwater still maintaining it for now. Thompson, though, once again, that 5 I think is faster. It's just so hard to make a pass at a track like Martinsville. Not only is it, a single groove racetrack and you really have to follow the guy and get aggressive with them if you want to make the pass, but the times are just so close here. It's a short track, and we've seen it at all the short tracks on the Winston Cup Series. Even, some of the fake short tracks like New Hampshire or Phoenix, stuff like that, where the times are just so close it gets hard to make passes because you're not really that much faster than the guy in front of you. 37 laps into the Virginia 500. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. still the leaders. We're catching up to lap traffic. Good time for our Gatorade audience analysis. As last week, we'd asked what is the best 1.5 mile track that the Winston Cup Series holds a race at. And the votes were very, very split, and somehow, some way, all of them ended up at an equal 10% type thing, where Chicagoland had 40%, Vegas had 30%, Kansas had 20%, and Homestead had 10%. So all of them ended up at multiples of 10. Don't think I've ever seen that in one of our audience analysis polls, but there you have it. Chicagoland, the fan favorite, and I was a little bit surprised by that because the 2 Chicagoland races, while they were good, I kind of figured that Las Vegas has had some really good races over the past, and Kansas's last race was phenomenal, but we'll see when we go back to Chicagoland. Maybe it'll be just as good as that Las Vegas race was, and we'll see a real treat there. But this week at Martinsville, we're going to be asking about the track types. What is the best track type that the Winston Cup Series holds a race on? Is it the short tracks that we race on like right now, or maybe the 1 mile tracks? Is it the intermediate tracks like the 1/2 mile, 2 mile tracks? Is it the super speedways like Daytona and Talladega, or maybe the road courses like Riverside, Watkins Glen, Road America? So cast in your vote, and in 2 weeks' time we'll see you, because next week we're off, and see you in 2 weeks' time for the winner of that poll. Finish that up just in time because leaders are in lap traffic. 41st place Tyler Belladonna is the first one for Fitzwater to catch. You can already see what the traffic is doing to him. Thompson is close right in on the back bumper, racing off into turns 1 and 2. Fitzwater keeps getting held up. Watch for Keegan Thompson. He is right there ready to pounce. Fitzwater looking low. Thompson up the track in the number 5. Sierra looking lower. He can maintain down there. He has a shot. He's going to get back in line for now. Thompson keeps second. Fitzwater hoping he can get around here and lead the next 7 or so laps, because then he's guaranteed the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps in this race. But he has to hold off a hard charging Keegan Thompson, who's looking lower through 3 and 4. Keegan Thompson has not won since 2001. Maybe that could change as he leads lap number 44 here at the Martinsville Speedway. First lead change of the day, and Keegan Thompson for 3rd place. Now to the lead in the Virginia 500. Fitzwater trying to hold second because he knows Thompson could get stuck in traffic as well. But here comes Sierra. Maybe give him a bump into the corner. Sierra's not Fitzwater's favorite driver out on the track, and maybe not as much now because Sierra maybe just made some contact to move his way to 2nd place. Thompson in the lead trying to drive away in the number 5. We'll have to see if he can get by these lap cars. You can see Tyler Belladonna. He got to the inside, trying to put a car in between he and 2nd place, his teammate Brett Sierra. I'm sure he's looking in the mirror, seeing that it's his teammate back there, and he's like, oh, please, you've already won 2 races this season. Give me one. Belladonna up the track. Sierra almost middle of 3. Fitzwater's looking to the inside. Sierra trying to get by as quick as possible because Thompson now gaining on the rest of the lap cars. If he starts moving around these guys in a fast manner and puts cars between he and Sierra, Sierra won't be able to maintain touch with the number 5. There you can see Thompson moving by Jerry Chen in the 59 car. Once again, only Chen's 2nd start of the 2003 season. With new sponsor Red Bull on the hood of that car. Kukulon in the back has moved to 10th place by Tim Gary. Gary down in 11th. Jericho's lost ground the 18. He's gotten passed by DeLello, Wells, his teammate, and Hunter Reed. Moved Jericho down to 15th place. As Sierra hunts the lead on his teammate Keegan Thompson. And these two have got a distance between them and the 3rd place car, Fitzwater, because the 2 is stuck by 2 lap cars. Yeah, I think that 2 just fallen off on the long run. It's now Sierra clears and leads at Martinsville. He won here in 2000. It was his 2nd career win. Could he go for his 3rd win of the season here today? Cross flags halfway at Martinsville. 50 laps down, 50 laps to go. We've had 3 leaders through the first 50 laps, and Brett Sierra's the newest one and pulling away from his teammate Keegan Thompson, who's starting to slide in that number 5 car. But now Sierra up the track a little bit, and once again, this is kind of a revolving door. We're into this lap traffic. If one guy can't get by it, the next guy gets a run. Look at Sierra up the track a little bit. Thompson peeking the nose to the bottom. Can he get the run off the corner? Thompson looking back to the inside of Brett Sierra. As they race down the back, Sierra's going to give him the lane. Back for the lead comes Keegan Thompson. Well, this is some good stuff. Thompson back to the lead at Martinsville. Leads again. And we're nearing pit stops. Within the next, I'd say 10 to 15 laps, we'll see drivers start to make the move onto pit road. Thompson back to the lead. He clears Sierra, who's back in 2nd, and no lap cars between them. Fitzwater's got by Tyler Belladonna. Now he has Jerry Chen in front of him if he wants to try and get around. Nolan Lawrence finally got by Luke Rainey. Lawrence now up to 6th, trying to stalk down Jordan Stout, who's still trying to find a way around Roberto Crown Jr. Rainey trying to hold off Layton Strickland behind him. Jericho in the background has moved back by Hunter Reed for 14th place. We see the number 40 of Benny Lynn has moved up inside the top 20. He's had a good run through the field. Spurgeon's lost ground back to 23rd. Evans up to 24th from 42nd place. As others have started to fall, like Justin Zeidel's down to 31st. Jude Martinelli's moved up inside the top 30. A good run for that 67. Sarah Kirchner still stuck, though, back in the 34th place. Definitely the biggest name. That's the lowest in the grid, as now Joshua Harrison falls a lap down the number 11 car. Thompson moves by. Sierra's trying to get by as well in the number 25 to keep touch with his teammate and the race leader. As in the back, Stout moves by Roberto Crown Jr. He's finally clear in 4th place. He can try and set sail and catch the front 3. And now Crown up the track again, going to lose the top 5 spot. Here comes Nolan Lawrence trying to get redemption from Las Vegas, where he got spun into the infield grass on lap number 2 or 3. Lawrence to the top 5. Crown back to 6th. Luke Rainier under fire. Battle for 7th and 8th. Mathis Wells is flying up to 11th. Get by Kukulon. Gary's back up to 10th. Here comes DeLello for 12th on Sebastian Kukulon. And that's going to put Chris Jericho closer to that number 29 to try and make a pass. What great stuff as we're nearing pit stops here at the Martinsville Speedway. Once again, Luke Rainey and Lathan Strickland going side by side. That's for 7th and 8th. And Jordan Stout's trying to get by Fitzwater up there. That's for 3rd place. And Thompson is starting to lap cars like a machine. Just got by 2 more. Jack Carter is one of them in the 54. As MP2 cars battle for 9th and 10th, that's going to bring Mathis Wells potentially up inside the top 10 in the number 20 car. Nolan Lawrence moving to 4th by Fitzwater. The 2 really struggling from that pole position. Wells to 10th. Hunter trying to keep 11th. DeLello is looking middle of 3. Now DeLello, his hands full of Sebastian Kukulon, who dives to the inside. And Kukulon's by DeLello. Jericho, his hands full with Hunter Reed and Jay Rando. Thompson really pulling away now. A 2nd gap over his teammate Brett Sierra. Cars into pit road. Fitzwater is the first of them. Not too shocking there. He was really falling off. Get the tires now. Get out of the traffic. Try and get to that lead again. Keegan Thompson. He's going to enter pit road. Sierra's going to stay out because he had the clean track. So Sierra will inherit the lead again. Thompson in. Lawrence is going to stay out. Jordan Stout's come in. Here comes Roberto Crown Jr. Tim Gary. Zachary DeLello is on pit road. Fitzwater was the only one that came in the last time. A lot more cars towards the back coming down, like Jude Martinelli, Justin Seidel. The only hassle here is if a yellow comes out, you get trapped. Sierra's in, Lawrence is in. Strickland looks like most of the rest of our leaders. Ryan Wilson, some of the others are staying out longer, trying to get the overcut, trying to lead some laps, and I think Wilson did get to lead that one in the number 15. Now check that. Yes, he did. So did Evans stay out, and so did Justin Atkins. As Thompson will leave Sierra with Jordan Stout coming out. Sierra has to check up to give Stout the room. And Thompson is out in the lead. Fitzwater's undercut didn't really work too well. See, Matt Tuckett also stayed out. He's coming down the pit lane. Evans came in that time, so did Wilson, so did Justin Atkins. As it's a crowded pit road. 25 checking up, you have to assume will hurt. There goes Thompson. There's Sierra. Sierra has his hands full with number 6, Jordan Stout. That'd be for 2nd place. Fitzwater's going to cycle out in 4th. Battle for 5th right here. Lathan Strickland and Tim Gary going at it. So how about Strickland? Great pit stop for that 48. Same with Tim Gary. Gary went from about 9th place up to a battle for 5th. There's Wilson leaving pit road, and some of the other lap cars that are going to come out and merge into these lead lap cars. Gary trying to get the run. He's trying to use that 23 as a pick right here, Nathan Ormond. So we cycle back up to Thompson in the lead. Sierra 3 seconds back in 2nd. Stout is about 3 1/3. Then Fitzwater. Here's the battle for 5th. Strickland and Gary. That's 5th, 6th, and then 7th place is Lawrence. Mathis Wells. Good pit stop. He moved up even further. 8th place. That was one of the fastest cars before pit stops. Then DeLello's now 9th. He's moved up. Luke Rainier's dropped back to 10th. Richardson up to 11th. Roberto Crown Jr. back to 12th. For 13th, Wilson on the fresher tires. Jericho on the outside of the 18. Hernandez is here. Evan Hunter has fallen. Conrad Evans has moved up to 16th. What a great pit call by the driver who started 42nd in this race. There's Evan Hunter. He's fallen to 17th. So not a good day for really anyone up there in the points besides Brett Sierra. Matthew Burnett trying to get by Evan Hunter. Kukulon has fallen, so Richard Childress Racing went from Evan Kukulon at least battling for top 10 to now their highest car, 16th Conrad Evans. And Atkins is there. He gained some spots after staying out. Hunter Reed really dropped in the 45. Jude Martinelli gained some ground. So did Kirchner. Seidel gained ground. Looks like Stapleton lost some. Riley Spurley to the points leader, 32nd. And Jay Randall, 33rd. Two cars that were running Well, Rando was running around top 15, spurred to around 20th place. They're now sub 30th. Sierra holding on to second for now. They have a long way to go if they want to catch Keegan Thompson. They have been running him down a little bit, but obviously, once again, they have to get by some of that lap traffic if they want to have a shot as well. And I had thought, with how down the left pit road, I thought he was going to get by Brett Sierra within a few laps, but it looks like the 25 got the tires up to temp. Is starting to pull back away a little bit from that number 6 car, as Stout is being caught by Fitzwater, who, remember, had a good car in the short run. It was just the long run that really hurt that number 2 car. That battle for 5th really helped Matt as well as the Decker DeLello catch up to make it 5 cars right here in a line, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Then Luke Rennie in 10th, Richardson in 11th. That could be a great battle for a top 10 spot as we get down towards the end of this race. 2 DI cars are moving up together. Wilson in 13th, Hernandez in 14th. They moved by Chris Jericho, kicked back to 15th in the number 18. Teammates back here battle. That's for 19th and 20th. Atkins trying to get by Kukulon, who almost got cut off by his teammate. Kukulon goes wide, and here comes Mitchell Collins for the top 20. Been a surprising day out Collins. I thought he had a good starting spot. Thought he could maybe move up some spots on that initial start, but he really lost ground there and getting it back up to 20th place. But as his teammates been running inside the top 5 all day, definitely not the day Mitchell Collins was looking for here today at the Martinsville Speedway. Sierra's cut it down to 3 seconds, but once again a lot to make up with under 30 laps to go at the Martinsville Speedway. Here's the battle for 3rd place. Jordan Stout has it, trying to get his first top 10 of the season. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. trying to rebound in the points after his inspection failure at the California Speedway after winning that race. Both cars positioning themselves for a pretty good points day if it ends like it is. And so far we've been caution-free here at the Martinsville Speedway. A very clean race, but a very competitive race. We've seen changes for the lead with Fitzwater leading early. Thompson then got around him. Sierra got around Thompson. Then Thompson got back around Sierra. Then as Thompson pitted earlier, Sierra stayed out to lead a lap. And then as Sierra came in, Ryan Wilson stayed out to lead a lap or 2. So it's been all sorts of shuffling here for the lead at Martinsville, and all sorts of shuffling further back in the field, especially this battle back here for around 5th place. Cars are on top of each other, and these positions could change hands over the final 25 laps. Gary's one I'm going to be watching for. I think that car wasn't such a good short run car, but he really started to gain on the longer run, like right at the end of that last run, kind of like Mathis Wells. So that 10 is going to be interesting if he maybe starts to fire off within these final 10 laps to get back to the 48. But also Mathis Wells, I mean, that car was flying even before the long run, but then as the run went longer and longer, the car got faster and faster, and that number 20, we'll have to see, he's right now in 8th place, and 5th is right up the road. You never know, Mathis Wells could get by these 3 cars in the final 23 laps, get a top 5 of a day where he probably would have just been happy where he is right now, a top 10 or a top 8. At the front, the last few laps, Brett Sierra is cut into the lead by a 1/10 of a second. Keegan Thompson is in traffic. He's got by Colin Lewis in the 91, but now Lewis's teammate Bibby Ruiz is up the road in 34th place. If he gets by Ruiz, the challenge gets even harder, because they have to try and lap a Roush car Jay Rando, and then the points leader Riley Spurley too. So Keegan Thompson hands, they're full right now. We'll have to see if he can try and hold on. 21 laps to go, the gap 2.48. If he keeps losing a 10th a lap, he'll still get to victory lane in this race. However, there's no guarantee he keeps losing a 10th a lap. It could be even more than that. Trying to get by Ruiz to put another car between he and second place his teammate Brett Sierra. That time 2/10 gain for Sierra, but once again the 5 was passing a car. Riley Spurley to Jay Brando side by side in front. Laura Chung in front of Nathan Baird. Behind them, contact almost between teammates. Lewis getting aggressive with his team owner and teammate Bibby Ruiz. Very aggressive with them. Oh, Thompson really wide through 1 and 2, up out of the concrete. Colin Lewis back to his inside. This is the opposite of what Thompson wanted to see. Can he clear him down the back? He can't. Oh, that is bad. With 19 to go on the outside, he has to try and find a way down in line because Sierra's coming. It's 2 seconds the gap. It's going to be even lower this time. 1.38. Thompson up the track again. He might be able to clear Matt Tuck. Get in line right here. Right in front of Tuck. There he goes. Tuck sends it in, though. He wants that lap back in the 32. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. 17 to go for Thompson. The gap down to almost a second. And Sierra's bringing other friends with them like Jordan Stout and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. The problem for Sierra is still 3 cars between he and the race leader Keegan Thompson. Tuck, Ruiz, Oskin. Can he find a way through them? The gap again, 1/10 gain for Brett Sierra. But he's going to need Thompson to probably make a slip again. I don't know if Sierra could pass these 3 cars and gain a second in just 15 laps at the line. We'll have to see. 15 to go. 1 second the margin. Thompson opened it up by a 10th again. Back up to about 1.2. He got away from Tuck, who went wide through 1 and 2 right there. 15 to go for Keegan Thompson. Is he going to be able to get back by Colin Lewis in the 91? Can Oskin get by Ruiz and maybe bring Brett Sierra with him? He had a peak, couldn't get the run. 14 laps to go in Martinsville, the Virginia 500. It could be a nail-biter. Battle for third, Fitzwater, low on Stout. Didn't get the run to keep it down there, though. The 6 got the drive off the corner, had the horsepower at the end of the straightaway. Could be a good battle for third, all the way down to the wire. Sierra's now so he had been gaining a 10th of a second every lap. Now he's starting to lose a 10th of a second. And that's all because he's caught the traffic. The 5 is a little bit cleaner in front of him. While the 5 still does have the traffic, Sierra's a lot closer to the traffic than the 5 car is. The 5 can run just a little bit better laps. 12 laps to go for Keegan Thompson. Once again, trying to break a long winless streak. Kansas 2001, the last time that number 5 saw a victory lane in the Winston Cup Series. It's been a long time. 2001 was very, very mediocre for Thompson. Nearly had a win at the Daytona night race, but lap traffic had other plans. Well, if he wants to win today, he's going to have to find a way to negotiate this lap traffic, whether it be stay behind them and just keep the gap over his teammate or find a way by them. 10 laps to go at the line for Keegan Thompson. Up the track goes Nathan Baird in front. Thompson takes 10 to go. 1.3 seconds. Side by side in front. Oh, this could be bad for Thompson. He has to be careful here as he goes up the track. Should be able to stay in front of Matt Tuck, though. But now the next car is to lap as the points leader Riley Sprotube. That will not be an easy task. Even though Sprotube is running in 34th place, it's not going to be easy for Thompson, who goes wide again through 1 and 2. Matt Tuck playing pretty nice, though. He's not really staying to the inside. He's looking lower, but he's not staying down there to where, Thompson's under threat as Oskin gets out of the way of Sierra. So that's 1 last lap car with now 8 to go. But he has to gain a second and get by 2 more. Can Sierra close in? It would be his 3rd win in 7 races and propel him up into the championship favorite position. The points lead. Now 7 to go. Further back in the top 10, Richardson through to 10th. Luke Rennie down to 11th in the 88 car. One second still the margin. 6 to go at the line for Keegan Thompson. Sierra still 2 lap cars away from Thompson. The margin just a second with 6 laps to go. Lewis getting by Nathan Baird. The 91 starting to gain ground, but unfortunately a little bit too late. Tuck up the racetrack. That gives the 5 some breathing room right here. 5 laps to go. Gap under a second. Ruiz goes wide. Sierra, can he get by him right here? Got the run. That did slow Sierra up a little bit, but it's going to be another lap car away, so if the 5 makes a mistake, there's only 1 car between them now. 4 laps to go for Keegan Thompson. This is only a half a mile long track, but I'm sure these laps feel grueling for Keegan Thompson with how long they're probably feeling behind the wheel of that car. It's like, just get me to that checkered flag. Especially when you have that points leader in front of you not wanting to go a lap down. 3 laps to go. Just over a mile and a half left. Sierra about 9/10 of a second away. But it might be just too far for him. DeLello's gotten by Mathis Wells. Moved DeLello to 8th. Wells down to 9th. Now 2 to go. Sierra's gaining on Tuck, but I think it's just a little bit too late unless the 5 has an issue. He gained 2/10 of that lap, but Thompson needs to make a mistake. Stout and Fitzwater still in that battle for third. It's going to come down to the wire for that. Could be down to the wire for the win as well. Keegan Thompson, who has led a lot of laps, is going to take the white flag, looking to win for the first time since Kansas in 2001. A lap prior between he and second place his teammate Brett Sierra. Off turn 2 for the final time and down the back straightaway. It's been a season of broken, winless droughts. The checker flag is up for Keegan Thompson. He wins for the first time since 2001 at Martinsville. What a drive for Keegan Thompson. He had all that pressure, but like the championship caliber driver he is, he never faltered in the pressure, and he wins the Virginia 500 here at the Martinsville Speedway. He's back on top, and this was needed. The start to this season, anything but good. 6 races, 1 top 10 finish. Keegan Thompson now has a top 5, a victory, and 2 top 10s in 7 races, with the victory here today in the Virginia 500 at the Martinsville Speedway. And we had a feeling too when he started third. You know, that's a good spot to start here at Martinsville, and he just played the strategy right, played the lap cars right as well. Sierra was closing at the end, but just ran out of time. Race needed to be 5 or 10 laps longer. It could have been a big battle between those two teammates, but Thompson ends up the one on top here today at the Martinsville Speedway, just edging teammate Brett Sierra by nearly half a second. Sierra ends up in second place, but a very good points day as Evan Hunter, Riley Spurgeon, Sarah Kirchner didn't have the points days they were looking for. Jordan Stout had what he was looking for. His first top 10 this season, 3rd place for the number 6, and that is going to be a confidence booster for the rest of the season, going into the off week as well. So you'll carry that confidence, that momentum for 1 extra week. Fitzwater from pole led a lot of laps. Good points day for him as well as he's trying to recover once again after failing inspection. 4th place for the number 2, and Lathan Strickland a solid top 5. He started outside the top 10 here today. Nolan Lawrence a good recovery after Las Vegas in 6th. Tim Gary put an MB2 car once again inside the top 10. Zachary DeLello, Mathis Wells, and Keyshawn Richardson round out the top 10 here today. Luke Rennie couldn't hold on for the top 10. Ends up in 11th, Burton Crown Jr. 2nd straight race where he's had solid race car. 12th place for the 43. Hernandez got by teammate Ryan Wilson for 13th. Jericho ends up in 15th in the 18. Actually, Evans from 42nd place up to 16th at the end. Everything worked well for that 31 here today. There's Evan Hunter, 18th place, really lost ground on pit stops. Josh Kuklon, once again, just a mediocre run in 20th place. His teammate Atkins right behind him in 21st. Eli Bright started up top, fell back to around 28th place, so rebound up to 22nd. Definitely not what he wanted, but a lot better than it was looking. Hunter Reed had a bad pit stop. He fell to 23rd. There you see Sarah Kirchner. Her pit stop was good. She ended up moving up from outside the top 30 to inside the top 25 at the finish. Benny Lynn lost some ground. There's Zidell and Jude Martinelli. Both those cars started outside the top 35, raced up inside the top 30. Jay Randall lost a lot of ground in that second half of the race down to 30th. See Riley Spridley in the 28th and 34th place. Entered as the points leader. Not going to leave like that. 34th, definitely the worst race for Riley Spridley in this very, very short sample size of the 2003 season so far. We take a look at the points leaving Martinsville, and with Hunter and Spurlington and Kirchner not having very good days and Sierra having a good day, the points have come back together, and it's oh so close at the top of the points list. And once again, as mentioned in the last race or so, this seems like it could be a theme for this season where not one driver might be able to take control just because of how, wishy-washy these first few races have been, where at first it looked like Evan Hunter was going to run away with it. Then he had a few bad races and lost ground to Riley Spurgeon, who has now had a few not-so-great races. Brett Sears had good races. Sarah Kirchner, had her first bad race of the season. So a lot can change over the course of the Winston Cup Series season. And in 2 weeks' time, we'll know about change as we go racing at the Texas World Speedway for the Pensacola 400. That's always one of the favorite races of the season by both fans and drivers. We'll have to see how it all unfolds this season at Texas World. We saw last season Eli Bright get his first career victory. The season prior, it was Tim Gary doing it. Will we see another first-time Winston Cup Series winner in 2003? Only time will tell at the Texas World Speedway in College Station, Texas. Congratulations to Keegan Thompson for his first Winston Cup Series win since the 2001 season here at the Martinsville Speedway.